Hey guys, Kid here of Burn One with the Shadowverse Evolved channel, joined once again with Dean,
Hello.
back with our Reign of Bahamut, I believe it's called, booster pack set 2, whatever, of Shadowverse Evolved. We're going through the Swordcraft um, list now of new cards, starting off with the one and only our boy Albert Levin Saber. Do you know his voice line? You have to know his voice line, right?
Little blood won't stop me.
Is that it? I thought it had to do with lightning.
Well, he goes like Sky Knights assemble, and then like his he has a lot of voice lines. He have the leader, dude. His original one was like Saber Strike on attack. I'm pretty sure it was a Little Blood won't stop me was his Evo. He
Okay.
also had like he had an alt art leader card, and then like it's been a long time.
Yeah.
He
So
has retrains, so
so Albert in digital, this card when it came out, I love this card. It in digital it had a 5 attack power, I believe, and then it would on evil double like strike twice, and so you could do 10
it
damage.
had three. It had this exact stat
Oh,
line.
did it have this? Oh, but on Evo it gained 2 more, right?
No. On
No.
Evo, on Evo it got +2/+2, and on Enhanced 9 it gained attack twice.
Yeah, that's it.
Because this was the set with Enhance. It was the first time we got Enhance.
All right.
And it can't take damage.
All right. One last thing is I'm really sad there's no leader card for Albert in this set. It really upsets me. I would have
It
paid
does come
money
in the
for it.
future.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that card. All right, so Albert, our boy here, he evolves for he's a 4-drop 3/5, but he evolves for 3, and this card already has Storm, so it's a 4-drop 3 Storm face with a 5 body. But the thing that makes it insane is the Evo form. It still has Storm, but it has Strike. Stand this card. This ability can only be used once per turn. Um, what is it? This card, and then on Evolve, this card takes no class damage this turn, so you can run into things and it will take no damage. So you can clear things with this also if you really need to. Though you are not going to be using that for that effect, you're using it for the strike effect. A lot of Swordcraft decks going into the next set will be playing some number of Alberts. I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3, but usually this card is played in it to be comboed with Leonidas, which is a card we'll go over later, because that card creates a basically a banner card, essentially an amulet that will buff our other cards on play, making this card go up to 6 attack, meaning that on Evo, and if the path is clear, this can just do 12 face damage to your opponent to like close out the game immediately, with essentially 7 mana, because it does cost 3 to Evo it as well, or 6 mana if, or why am I saying mana? 6 play points if you have an Evo point available to you. And spoiler alert, there's times where even if you go first, you're going to have an Evo point. So, card is super good. This is one of my favorite cards in digital, and it's also probably one of my favorite cards in this
Oh.
set. What's up?
I love Albert, and I can tell you right now, having sleeved up and played a little bit of this meta,
Mm-hmm.
you play him as a one of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
And
it can be played as one of as well.
sometimes he's a little rough. I mean, because like, right, we already have the quick dynamic, right? And it's like you evo him for 7 mana, and all of your eggs are on that basket. And there's already Leon. When we get to Leonidas, we'll discuss that a bit. But I think
Yeah,
that the meta is very hostile to this card.
I can agree with that. But this is what's really nice about this card is that since Swordcraft has a lot of ways to search out followers, as we've already seen in set 1, set 2 it expands on that a little bit more. Playing this as a one of is like your silver bullet. Did my opponent leave his guard down? Okay, search Albert and like immediately remove him like in that person's life, because you're hitting them for either 6 or like 12 damage, or depending like what other buffs you have, you're going to do. You're putting in that storm damage. I agree with Dean. This is like a one of in every Swordcraft deck. I feel like there's no reason not to play it at least as a one of, just because of that potential. Kind of like playing
Yeah,
Genesis Dragon as a one of.
yeah. It's searchable, which is nice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like I feel like it's a lot more awkward than it like lets on to be.
Yeah,
It's more of like,
it's definitely like you have to find that moment where your opponent messed up, and then you can end the game or whatever, or if you grind it out to that point. But
yeah,
you're not necessarily winning all the time with this card, but it's the threat that this card exists in your list that makes people play differently also,
Yeah,
which is
and when it's good, it's really good. But like,
yeah.
it's just don't think it's going to be something you just slap down every game.
Yeah, for sure. You won't be winning a lot of games just because of this card. But the fact you have it in your deck and the fact you'll be able to tutor it whenever you want is going to be very big for you. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I think we just agree. Albert is a great card for what it is. I think the pressure too, the same thing like how Genesis Dragon scares players into playing differently towards the end game is also something that I've noticed playing a lot of Dragon, and Albert being like a searchable Genesis is kind of spooky as well, especially if they don't have a way to rip it out of your hand or something. Next card, Dean.
Alexander, I love this guy. I have no idea what his entry line is. I just know he shouts charge when you attack with him. 6 mana, 5/9. It's truly insane. It has rush and direct attack. And whenever it attacks and deals clash damage, so you attack a creature, it untaps.
And just to be clear, direct attack is a sell in the English version of the game.
Oh yeah, a sale, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So you slap him down, you clear your opponent's entire board, and then I guess he's still untapped. That's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay footage of like turn 6 against Sword. Like they drop this and they just like clear 3 things, and for whatever reason, Alexander's still there, living with like 2 health or something. But it's standing now, so it's harder for them to interact with it. And so like they could just choose to like pass turn there, and it's like semi protected. But usually I've seen this as just like you drop this on 6 to clear like your opponent's board completely, because this is usually getting through like 2 to 3 followers easy, right?
Oh yeah, it gets through hopefully their entire board whenever he comes down, right?
Yeah.
Especially with that health, like you can just attack twice into most things. Like even if it has more than 5 health, you can just attack into it twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Card is insane. I assume you agree.
Isn't his voice like "I am your conqueror"? Yeah, I love this guy. That's what it is. That is what it is. It's been a long time, but when I first started the game, I loved all of the sword cards with like art like this, and I was just slamming them into a deck, and I'm like, this guy's so cool.
Understandable. All right, next card. Amelia, Silver Paladin. So this is a 4-drop 3/3 with fanfare. Choose one of the following effects. Choose a follower in your hand that costs 3 or less and put it into the field. The second effect is choose an enemy follower, deal 4 damage to it. I think this card is insane. You probably play 3 of this almost in every Swordcraft list, because to me it's like a build your own Floral Fencer in a way, because like you can have lines of like playing this like. Yeah, like even on 4, if you went second, you can like play Floral Fencer, use an evolve point, evolve Floral Fencer, and now you have this wide board your opponent has to immediately deal with. It's really spooky. It's like 10 damage on board immediately, right? And if they don't clear it, that's like really scary. The secondary effect too, like if you don't have anything good to play, you can still deal 4 damage to something to remove something. These cards with like multiple effects that are good like this, that you get to choose one, they just seem so powerful to me. Like I like feel like I have to play this as a 3 of in every list I play, but maybe that's wrong. But that's how I feel right now.
No, I think the card's insanely good.
Yeah,
This is a good one.
Yep.
It's no Lily, but
true. I really like this card. Next card here. This is our boy Dean. Want to go?
Oh,
ahead?
dude, this guy is so cool. Thankfully, Leonidas is no longer a 9-drop. He is a 6 mana 5/6 with evolve for 1. And then when you evolve him, you get choose an enemy follower, deal 5 damage to it, and Leonidas. So no longer are the days where Leonidas is this like dog shit card you put down that cannot die and you lose. Instead, there's like another horrible thing that happens. And last words, you put a Leonidas is resolved onto your field, and that's just straight up what Leonidas' resolve was in digital. It's a commander, and yeah, every time a Swordcraft follower hits the board, gets +3/+3 in rush. Obviously, you combo this with cards with Storm. Every single card in your hand is insane. Banner sucks, and it's thankfully gone. Instead, you have this tutorable Chad, Giga Chad, that allows you to just like buff up all your dudes for the rest of the game. Now, the problem is Haven exists.
True.
The problem is he hits himself to 2 health and then gets scriptured. and then and then you cry.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
dude. Yeah. Amulet removal is also more prominent because execution is more played than like it ever was in digital.
Mm-hmm.
Because digital like never had a reason to play execution, but in this format, there's like actually good amulets, so it can be sad sometimes. But when he sticks, this is like actually a really fun deck to play because like you can play like a more control-y or like like less like crazy aggro, and then like just like save your novice troopers for 7. Like you go novice trooper, quick later after evoing Leonidas on 6, right?
Yeah.
And then that's like infinite damage. Like they're probably dead. I'm not even going to do the math. What is that? 9
It's
plus 7, it's 16.
yeah.
So yeah, like that's you don't even need to do that much damage before like this guy comes down. But I think the problem is that Haven is top tier. Next format, so yeah, it's a little rough.
Yep. Haven is probably one of the rougher matchups, like Dean explained with Black in Scripture, removing Leonidas. But it's definitely one of those. This card resolved, it got removed, and now you have to deal with this new banner. Deal with it. If you don't deal with it, I probably win next turn. Like
Oh
that's
yeah, no, when it
yeah,
lives, it's insane. When it
yeah,
lives, or like when it gets to go off, it is
mhm,
the most insane card you've ever played.
yeah. It's just
Uh,
like no coming back from that point. It feels like if you
I
can't
just think
answer
the
it. Mhm.
format, like when this set first came out in Japanese, this was like the best deck, right? And then
Yeah,
people realized that Haven was really good, and Haven snuffed this deck out pretty fast. Is the sad part.
yeah, for sure. It's still like a top tier deck. It's just that unfortunately another top tier deck kept this deck in check. So anytime you ran
Yeah,
into Haven, you're just like, oh, like I gotta, I hopefully have to push through and go wide against Haven, and hopefully that's enough to get me to close out the game. Because the Haven, which is this is kind of a spoiler, they have a big boss monster on like turn 9 or 10 of the game, and like once that gets dropped down and you don't have any answers, you kind of like lose the game from there. It's really hard to win from that point onward. There are ways to deal with it. None of that stuff to deal with it I think is in Sword at all, unfortunately. Maybe I'm wrong though. I'd have to relook at some stuff, but Haven is a very hard matchup for Sword in set 2 for sure.
yeah, but I mean Leonidas, it's insane. He's really good, and it's really fun to play this card. So yeah, this guy's 20 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. 20 out of 10. I love Leonidas. He's so fucking cool. All right, White Paladin. 3-drop, 3/4. It has ward and an activated ability. You can pay to and engage this card, rest it or whatever you want to call it. You put 2 shield guardians into the field. A shield guardian is this token. It's a 1/1 with ward. Um, this card is kind of cool. I think personally, it like builds up a board that is like for just what is it 5 play points. You can get like a board of wards. But outside of that, I don't know if this card is any good at all. Probably not. I don't. There's probably some lines where you play this, like maybe with that last card, the 4-drop I was talking about, that plays 3 cost or lore. This is kind of cool, like playing
Combos with
off it.
Banner.
Yeah, combos with banner, stuff like that. But I feel like this isn't like super amazing. It's a decent ward though for sure. Because like if you play this on 3, it's still a 3/4 with ward. But outside of that, I just the the activated effect costing 2 play points immediately means like you can only build the board up on turn 5, right? So
Yeah, it's a little awkward. I don't think I don't know. It's not bad,
it's
or
yeah
maybe
it's
it is.
it doesn't seem horrible, but it also doesn't. I feel like it's almost like a do nothing card in a way. Like
True.
yeah, because like the shield guardian that it summons is a 1/1. Like it this is like just there to create 3 wards because you need 3 wards to survive a turn. That's like the only time I ever see this being very good, right? Or I guess maybe if you're still playing Royal Banner for some reason. I mean, this is pretty decent with Royal Banner, I guess.
That was I'm still not a Banner believer, but maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, Banner basically disappears for the most part because why would you be playing Banner when you have Leonidas, our boy?
Banner plus Leonidas.
You're right.
The 16 damage is now 19.
Busted. All right, next card here.
Geno, 11 Vanguard, 3 mana, 3/3, evolve for 1. He becomes a 4/4, and then he has direct attack. And on evolve, you top check 4 and reveal 11 follower with a different name than this card, and can't get rid of itself. I don't like that. And add to your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck. I think the 11 followers are Albert. They're only in this set right so far, so you're gonna have like 3 or 4 of them total.
Yeah, this, like, if there are very good 11 followers, then sure.
You're supposed to summon this guy off Amelia, I think, right? Is the idea?
Yeah, because it's at 3 cost, and then you can like build a board that way. This is why I say like Amelia or whatever her name is. It's just like a build your own.
No, wait, you're supposed to summon Gelt off of Amelia.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying like she's just kind of like build your own floor fencer in a way on 4 because you can do plays like this with this guy, then evo him. So now you have a 3/3 or 4/4, and then like you hopefully get a card off of this card's effect. It really, like, this card really comes down to like, are there 11 followers that you really care about in your list that you want to grab off of this or search for? Then like this is probably okay, but I don't like it because there are just so many other better search tools in Swordcraft that this is just seems so whatever. The only good part is it has a cell, right? The direct attack. So if
That's pretty big.
if that's meaningful to you, then that's good, right?
I always feel like I've started to realize that direct attack is like really good.
It is really good, especially when you play against people who are very smart about like engaging certain things at specific timings or not. A cell becomes very valuable. So like I said, like if this is cell, the direct attack means gets you good value, then like I can see this card being better than I'm really initially like describing it. But to me, this just seems like a pretty mid card, just because there's so much better search tools in Sword, in my opinion. Anything else to add, Dean?
I think it's okay. I think it's
pretty mid. Next card here, Urias Levin Duke. It's a 2-drop 0/4 with quick. I think this is one of the first time we've seen a quick activated ability. So you can use this anytime you can normally use it quick. Is you can engage this card or act this card here. Choose an enemy follower, deal 1 damage to it. This seems pretty not good. Dean, thoughts?
Oh no, this guy. Do you know what this guy did in digital? This was like the strongest card ever in digital.
Is that why they neutered him here?
He's also a Bloodcraft follower.
Oh.
In digital, this guy was insane. It's so sad.
Was this the guy where like if you took damage, you would deal 1 to the whole board or something like that?
No, this was the guy that every time your opponent played a creature, you would ping the enemy leader for 1. And like you could like you're like and it had like 4 health or something, like 3 or 4 health. And so you'd like put this thing down, they can't kill it, then you put a second one down, and it's like every time they play a card, they just die. like it doesn't hurt creatures, but like their health starts going down.
Yeah. This seems pretty mediocre.
But I think they moved him to Sword because he's Levin.
Yeah. He is.
So you gotta have something to grab off the Geno.
True. Card seems pretty booty cheeks in my opinion.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, it combos with the banner.
Busted.
The resolve.
All right. Next card here, Dean.
Whole Souled Swing, 2 mana spell, quick. Choose an enemy follower, deal 3 damage to it. Put a knight into your EX area. I'm not gonna lie, Swordcraft's gimmick of putting knights into your EX area instead of the board on like these removal spells is like kind of awful.
I agree. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like we already have a better removal spell.
Yeah, the 1-drop spell I think is much better, and even maybe the 3-drop spell that deals 5 is better, but that one's not a quick, I believe. If you find value in like having a quick deal 3 damage spell that you can hold over turn for 2, like okay, maybe it's good in that sense, or maybe you need some kind of interaction because you just happen to have like extra slots in your deck available to you that you want to like fill up. But generally, Swordcraft is looking to value their followers they play, so that they always want to like basically spend as much play points on their followers as possible and not hold back as much. So like, I feel like this needs to have like better value if you're going to be like holding 2 play points back. So like, I think this card would be really good if they put the knight into instead of the EX area onto the field. Then I think it would be a little bit better. Well, I mean, obviously it'd be better, but I I don't want to say this is unplayable. Like you can probably play this and it'd be totally fine. I just don't like it that much right now. Just reading this.
I don't want to put it in a deck,
Yeah,
but that's me.
yeah.
So
I think the big thing about Sword, like basically like maximizing their value off of every turn and playing on curve essentially as much as possible, is more important than dealing with
and hard
with spell.
summoning a 1-mana 1/1 in it.
Yeah, true. Next card here, we have Swift Infiltrator. It's a 2-drop 2/2, and then it's whenever one of your followers evolves, this gets +1/+1. This is probably booty cheeks. I don't see a world where I want to play this card.
Draft filler.
Draft filler. There is no draft format, but if there was,
There is.
there is. Oh,
What the fuck?
we should learn to play it sometime and try to do it for a
You
video.
gotta have product. I don't have product.
True. Yeah, card seems pretty booty cheeks. You have anything to add?
Nah. Bronze.
There we go.
Samurai 2-mana 3/2. Activate 3 play points. It gets Storm and Bane. You know, after playing Quickblade or some, I don't actually know if this is a bad card. I have hard Evo Quickblader and been like, that was a good turn. So
yeah,
I'm suddenly would go from this card is bad. This card's insane.
I think this card in general is an okay, like it fills up 2 slot decently, and it has an activated effect that's okay, like that can come up way later in the game because like for 5 play points on the turn, you can either deal 3 face damage or maybe 6 if you have the banner out, the Leonidas resolve thingy or whatever. But beside that, like this is like a 2-drop that can transition into a 5-drop removal spell, which is kind of interesting. So it's still on theme for what Sword wants to do, which is play followers to the board and interact with our opponent through followers. So I can see this being a decent bronze card, like for what it is. Now, would I play it? That's just really depends what your other 2 slots are, right? Your 2 drops in your deck are, right?
Yeah, I think the fact that it can just randomly present face damage makes it a little bit better, but also it's not good.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
It has the duality of it being Storm and Bane. Is it Bane in English? I forget what it's called in English. It's Bane, right?
Oh, it's Bane. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that it has Storm and Bane makes it like very versatile in that way, and yeah. So like the card isn't horrible for sure. It's definitely, I think, a decent card, I would say. So like if I saw this, I wouldn't be like questioning people why they're playing this. It just happens to have like these 2 good keywords if you pay 5 for this card essentially, because I assume anytime you're paying for this effect, you're winning the game or setting yourself up to win the game or removing something that's horrible. I think that is it for Samurai, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next card, Avant Blader. It's a 4-drop 4/4, and it has pay 1 to evolve. The evolve form is on evolve. Search your deck for up to 2 officer cards and officer followers, and add them to your hand. This essentially grabs you almost everything. Honestly.
This card is continue.
Yeah, this card is really really good. You probably play at minimum a 1/1 line in almost all your decks with this card, because like you get 2 cards off of this. A lot of times too, you can do setups where you play this card, evo it, you can search out 2 novice troopers to get to set up your hand for after you blow up Leonidas, your next turn. Now, your opponent knows that you have 12 storm damage in hand if they don't get rid of the Leonidas banner or whatever it's called. Um, that's like really spooky, and almost all almost all of the cards are followers in Swordcraft are officer cards. There are some that are not, that aren't searchable through this, but a lot of the key ones are searchable off of this. I really like this card, and it's like a 5/5. It's a decent sized body, and you have rush because you evoed it, right? So yeah,
And it pluses 2.
and it pluses 2. Like, what's the hate about this card? It is probably the best bronze card for sword in this set, right? Because I can't imagine anything else being better.
It's a fantastic like advantage card to help you just keep up gas. But of course, it does come at a tempo loss. It's like the really only downside to it is like how costly it is.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's a good card.
Yep,
no
absolutely.
real complaints.
Yeah. Next card here.
Flame Soldier anime card. Let's go. 3 mana, 3/3 fanfare. Choose an enemy follower. Deal 1 damage to it. If one of your followers was destroyed this turn, deal 4 damage instead.
What are your thoughts, Dean?
This guy does face damage in digital. I'm just saying.
Unfortunate, he does not in this one.
And it's a lot more disgusting in digital. But having to have a card destroyed, how good is that? I think that's awkward. Usually your opponent does the destroying for you, not like you, right?
Yeah. So, in the first list I'm testing, I actually play this like as a 1/0 or something, I think. This is my reasoning behind it, is that a lot of times I will trade like a soldier or a knight or something to clear board, like clear something off the board. And so playing this afterwards doesn't feel too bad because you get to pop something else. It also is 3 or less cost, which means it combos with the 4-drop. What's her name again? So like, it has potential of being an okay card, and that's kind of it. The fact that the reason I kind of like this is because it is removal on a body, and removal on a body in sword feels very good, from my experience.
It's sometimes removal on a body.
Yes, sometimes it's
that's the weird part.
Yeah,
right?
that's the problem I'm having with this card as well, is that I don't know how often am I going to get the burn or the deal 4 damage instead. So that's why I'm currently in my first list I am testing this card as like a random 1/0.
It is good, right? Because think about like times that people like ward up and you have like Floral Fence or Evo, and nobody ever kills all of the guys, but you got a knight, and the knight sucks, and they got a card with ward, and the knight dies.
Yeah,
it does 1 damage. That sucks. But now it does 5. 5 is good. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's okay.
To me, and like when I originally thought about it, it seems like it might work and be decent. That's why I want to test it out. But I'm not sold on the card yet. But it seems like it could be a good card overall. It just, like you said, it really depends on how you're going to get the value from this card. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for Flame Soldier. Maybe, unless you have anything else to add for him.
Not really.
All right. Also, really quick, I feel like this art on this card is so out of place compared to everything else we've seen.
Well, it's an anime card.
I know, that's why I'm like, what is happening?
It's the girl who I really actually like this archetype. It's like the sporty girl, and she does like Kamen Rider poses, and all of her guys are like Kamen Rider characters.
Yeah, I see it has the hero trait on the Japanese card, or I guess they translate it as heroic. I don't know. Why.
It's hero.
Yeah.
No, that's what it is in digital as well.
Yeah. I mean, it says right here, hero in Japanese, but I don't know why they translate it as heroic on the website.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. Next card then. Is it me or you? I forget.
I read the last one.
Okay. Gunner Maid Saria, whatever, Sarah. Fanfare, search your deck for a princess follower and add it to your hand. One thing to note is when I first read this card, I didn't click on the card itself on this website, which we're using, which is shadowcard.io. For some reason, traits don't pop up when you see the card on the full card list. So the first time I read this card, it said search your deck for a follower and add it to your hand. And I was like, wow, this card's busted. But turns out
Oh yeah.
it's not busted. I am currently testing a list with this card because I think there is some potential on creating wide boards early on. There's very few princess cards in Swordcraft. Some of the main cards that are princess that you would get off of this is Aurelia. Is that her name? The 5-drop.
No.
What's her name? The 5-drop.
Aurelia is one, and Otohime is
And
another.
Otohime is one, and then Pompous Princess is one.
That's the
Uh,
big one.
yeah. So the what makes this card seem like it has a lot of good potential is that you can like turn one play a 1-drop, turn two play Gunner Maid Saria, whatever, Gunner Maid search Pompous Princess out, turn three Pompous Princess top check 5, add a 1-drop to the board. So you can play lists that have like 9 or more 1-drops, and like one of the 1-drops you can play and potentially hit off of Pompous Princess is, God, I hope that's her name because I've been saying it a lot, is
It is.
is Bellringer Angel, which is a big one. Also, the
Quick
Swordsman,
Blader, one
Swordsman,
damage.
Quick Blader. Those are all like good cards to hit off of this, right? So all your 1-drops generally are very solid 1-drops. I know some lists I've seen people tinker around with play like ninjas and stuff like that as 1-drops they can pull off of Pompous Princess. But I really like the idea of like building a board like that. Like you play this on 2, you play Pompous on 3, and you get like and you kind of high roll and hit a bell ringer, and then the bell ringer protects your board now that you started swinging in with because it's the third turn or whatever. Because you're going to be swinging in with a Gunner Maid and like whatever your 1-drop is, right? I think being able to go wide like that early on so easily and like kind of like pull cards out of your deck so all your top decks later on feel better top decking. I think there's potential for that. The only issue, once again, is that this only searches Princess out. So, like, on a list I'm trying out, I'm playing like a 2 of Pompous Princess and a 1 of Aurelia, and I think that is it. I don't even play Otohime. So sometimes this card is just dead in your hand. It's just a 1/3 that does nothing. I guess you get to look at your deck and shuffle it for free in a way, but that's it. So, like,
Well, I think Pompous Princess, if you're playing, is like a 2 to 3 of. So I think it sounds like something went horribly wrong if this is not actually plussing, and you would know that it wouldn't plus, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm just like later in the game, this becomes a worse card to draw. Is my like evaluation of it, because like say you draw this on like turn 6 or something, there sometimes there's a very low chance of even having one of those cards left in your deck. And like if you're like trying to play a list like I am, you essentially only have 3 cards worth searching out of your deck with this. So I like the card. I think it's pretty decent for what it does, but it definitely pigeonholes you into a specific game plan of like searching out Pompous Princess, I think.
yeah, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I've played that build, and it's like you don't feel bad.
Yeah, I for sure, because you get like that perfect curve. You go 1, 2, you find your 3-drop that generates another card is good, and then you go into your turn 4 and you can like Floral Fence or whatever the hell you're gonna do on turn 4 if like they remove stuff. But it feels like very good value for those first like few turns, which is I think very powerful. And the fact that it can search out your 5-drop Aurelia or whatever her name is as like your silver bullet that you might play in certain matchups is very strong as well. I think the fact that it can search that out, um, that's kind of how I've seen it. Like I said, I like this card. It's not necessarily the best card ever, but it doesn't enable a cool strategy, I think.
Yeah,
All right. Oh, that is it. And this
we
is
did it.
the leader card you could potentially get. For some reason, when I first initially saw this card, I was like, "Isn't this like this looks like it would be a Runecraft follower because she has like a staff, or is this? It's a princess, so it must be a girl. Um, has a staff, and I thought it was a Runecraft thing, but apparently no. This is Swordcraft leader. Do you have this leader in digital, Dean?
Bro, this is like an unplayable card. I've never seen this card. Wait. No, wait, she had a cute voice line. But she was unplayable. No, she was a bad card. Like I want you to know these leaders in physical are like the absolute pack filler.
Damn,
They are like not cards that people remember.
understandable.
So yeah, that's like that Forest Craft one and this one, yeah, nobody.
Dang. All right, that kind of wraps it up. Once again, Shield Guardian token card will be getting in the booster, as well as Leonidas' Resolve. This is the big boy here, right here, boys. This is what we want. It
Yeah,
costs 8 play points. Jesus. All right, but we're never
we
gonna
don't
play
have
it.
to play it.
Yeah, no, we
It
don't.
comes into play for free. So
Yep. All right, that kind of wraps up Swordcraft. I think Swordcraft got a lot of really amazing tools they get to play around with. Leonidas in creating an entire like new deck archetype in a sense, I guess, or just made the current deck archetype better as a better late game stuff too. What do you think, Dean?
no, Sword's insane. I love every card they got,
Yeah.
both flavor wise and just like as a whole. Like Sword has like always been my favorite archetype design wise. May not always play it, but I do like a lot of the cards they got,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I'm excited to play these.
I'm really excited to play Sword in the next set. It's probably going to be my main craft I end up playing, unless I get beat up by Havencraft too much, and then I'll just go over to play Havencraft so I can bully some other Sword players for a while.
I'll see. I'm probably going to be a Forest player next set.
Oh, true, true. All right. I think that wraps everything up. We'll hope to see you guys in the next video. I believe the next craft we'll be covering is Runecraft, so stick around for that. That should be out whenever we release it after this one, which will probably be a day later. If you've been enjoying this stuff, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll be doing this for all sets coming out in the future. We'll do set reviews, and then we'll talk about potential decks that you are worth trying out in separate videos. So if you like trying to be ahead of the curve of the competition before set 2 comes out, or any set comes out in the future for Shadowverse Evolve, please subscribe, please follow, please do all that stuff. It means a lot for us. Besides that, I'll see you later. Bye.